This is the Bastard Star Wars RPG Deep Dive Podcast.
Welcome, you curious mind, to a deep dive into, a Star Wars story that's maybe a little different from the usual big epics.
Yeah, exactly. Forget the huge galaxy-spanning stuff for a minute.
Right. Instead, imagine this. A small rebel crew, a desperate mission, and pretty much everything that could go wrong does. And then some more things go wrong.
It's brilliant. It's not really just good versus evil here. It's more about, thinking on your feet, strange bedfellows. And honestly, this kind of darkly funny chaos when a plan just completely unravels.
And the source for this story is fascinating in itself, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We're diving into a session from Chronicles of the Tapani Rebellion, which is actually a tabletop role-playing game. So our info comes from session reports, player write-ups, even the raw game transcripts.
A real goldmine.
Totally. It gives you this amazing look at how stories just sort of emerge, from player choices, a game master rolling with the punches. It's collaborative storytelling in action.
So that's our mission today, right? To pull out the key bits from this this wild ride. We want to see how player decisions, the GM's curveballs, and the character quirks, sometimes hilarious ones, make a story that feels, more complex and human than something just written down beforehand.
You got it. And there are definitely some aha moments in here about how these games work and how stories get built together. Some moments, like the whole boarding sequence, just pure improvisation.
Okay, I'm hooked. Let's get into it. Where does the session pick up?
All right, so context. Our rebels, Conrad Wild, Flick Barnaba, Skyrus Prime, and this new mercenary, John Tail Gunner, they just pulled off a heist, stole some starfighters from an Imperial depot on Talana.
Nice. X-Wings.
X-Wings, the classic ones.
Yeah.
And a Y-Wing bomber, too. But it wasn't clean. They lost a comrade, Toman. He bought it, covering their escape.
Ouch. High stakes already.
Definitely. So now they're in these newly acquired ships, and they're trying to intercept this bacta freighter. Bacta being, that super important healing stuff.
Got it. So smooth sailing to the freighter.
Not quite. The session basically kicks off immediately with a space battle, and it's in an asteroid field. Classic Star Wars.
You're always the asteroid fields.
You know it. And if you're into tabletop games, you can picture this. Miniatures on the table, custom-made asteroids, templates for maneuvering. Conrad and Flick are in X-Wings, Skyrus is bait in another X-Wing, and Tail Gunner's in the Y-Wing.
And they're up against
TIE fighters, the standard Imperial ones, plus a faster TIE interceptor. It's turn-based combat, dice rolling. And actually, some funny moments happen because the AI controlling the TIEs wasn't perfect.
Like what?
Well, like TIE fighters just crashing into each other or straight into asteroids because of a bad roll or weird AI logic.
Yeah.
It adds that element of, chaos.
That unpredictability is key, isn't it? But amidst all this chaos, you mentioned something about communication.
Ah, yes. This is where it gets really interesting. So they're in this desperate fight, life or death.
Yeah.
And they realize they forgot one tiny detail in their planning.
Which was?
Call signs. They never set up call signs.
No way.
Seriously. So imagine the comms chatter. Who's that behind me? It's me. Who's me? Pure confusion.
Oh my God, how do they even manage?
They had to make them up on the spot.
Yeah.
Which led to some memorable results, like Baby, Creepy, and Birdman.
Okay, Baby and Creepy, that's something. Birdman feels slightly more conventional, maybe.
Slightly. But it just perfectly highlights that pressure, right? And how overlooking a basic thing like call signs can just cause immediate problems.
Yeah.
It's funny, sure, but also a real lesson in teamwork under fire.
It really is. And it shapes the characters, too. Organically, they become Birdman because of the situation.
Exactly. And speaking of characters, John Tail Gunner, the Y-Wing pilot, we need to talk about him.
The mercenary.
Yeah. He's basically the MVP of this space battle. His turret just shreds the ties, huge damage, lots of kills.
Sounds useful.
Oh, incredibly useful.
Yeah.
But his radio chatter is unsettling. He keeps making these weird comments about his little angels back home, and he seems really fixated on the call sign, Baby.
Okay, that adds a weird layer. Effective but creepy.
Pretty much sums it up. It adds this dark comedy edge and, frankly, some moral ambiguity to the team. These aren't squeaky clean heroes.
Definitely sounds like it. So the battle wraps up eventually.
It does. But then, right at the end, another ship shows up. A prototype TIE advanced.
Whoa, like Vader's ship.
Sort of, yeah. An experimental Imperial model, piloted by a new character named Rook. And get this, he has a message from Luthen Rail.
Luthen from Andor. Okay, so this connects to a bigger picture.
Seems like it. Rook's arrival signals that this little crew might be part of something much larger than they thought. It definitely raises the stakes.
Okay, so Ty's dealt with, mysterious ally arrives. Now they just need to board the freighter, right? But didn't you say their specialist died?
Exactly. Toman, the guy with the plasma cutter, is gone. So, plan B time. Or maybe plan C.
How do they manage?
Conrad has to do it. And who gives him advice on using the fusion cutter?
Let me guess. Tailgunner.
You got it. John Tailgunner gives Conrad this bizarrely calm, almost soothing advice on how to cut through the hull. Start slow. Rock it in. It's weirdly intense and kind of funny.
Just the image of that. Okay, so they get inside. What do they find? Expecting Imperial crew, maybe?
They were expecting an unarmed crew. What they find is children.
Wait, what? Children running the freighter?
Apparently. Which leads to some super awkward role-playing moments. Especially Flick Barnaba, the rich kid playboy of the group.
What does he do?
He tries to intimidate these kids by, waving his blaster around clumsily. He actually says, I will end you with this as a superior fighter.
Oh, smooth. Real smooth.
Yeah, you can imagine how well that worked. But here's the twist. John Tailgunner, the creepy little angels guy.
Yeah.
He finds the whole child labor thing deeply disturbing. It genuinely unsettles him.
Huh. So even he has lines he won't cross. That's complex.
It really is. It adds another layer to him, and it throws this moral curveball at the players that wasn't planned. They have to react, and it shapes their characters.
Okay, so kids on board. Who's actually flying the ship?
Turns out it's a droid pilot.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
And Conrad, being the tech-savvy one, he doesn't fight it. He just reprograms it, gives it new hyperspace coordinates.
Smart move. Send it where they want it to go.
Well, he sends it somewhere, all right.
Yeah.
Straight into the next part of their problem that they don't know it yet. It's a great example of how one simple action in these games can just cascade.
Setting themselves up for the next disaster, basically.
Pretty much. This whole sequence, the bad comms, the improvised cutting, the kids, the droid reprogramming, it's all emergent story. Player choices and unexpected twists driving everything.
So they jump to hyperspace, heading for their rendezvous, expecting to finally meet their contact, right? Hamar Chaktak, the Herglic.
Yep, the Herglic ally who's supposed to help them fence the bacta. They arrive expecting, maybe a slightly shady welcome, but still a welcome.
But that's not what happens.
Not even close. First, they're met by Valka, Hamar's enforcer. Then, boom, hidden panels open, and mercs jump out.
It's an ambush. On the freighter they just brought him.
Total ambush. Hamar then appears on comm screen, looking incredibly pleased with himself.
And reveals?
His master plan. It was all an elaborate insurance scam. He wanted the ship stolen or seemingly destroyed so he could collect the insurance.
Okay, classic underworld move.
But wait, there's more. He wasn't just going to sell the bacta. He was planning to sell everything. The ship, the cargo, and the rebels themselves.
Sell the rebels? To who? The Empire.
Black market, probably. Highest bidder. And he's so arrogant about it. He actually tells them, they are not broke. You are so broke, they are not. Just twisting the knife.
But that is incredibly bold and cold.
It's a huge betrayal. And it forces the players to really think about who they can trust in this murky world they've stepped into.
So they're trapped. Mercenaries, an enforcer. How do they get out of this one?
Here comes another twist. John Tailgunner, the mercenary who, remember, used to work for Hamar.
Oh, right. Does he side with his old boss?
Nope. In a genuinely surprising move, he sides with the rebels.
Really?
Well, his reasoning is chilling. He basically implies a threat against Hamar, referencing his little angels back on Coruscant. He says something like, you wouldn't want anything to happen to those little angels waiting for me back on Coruscant, would you?
Using his creepiness as leverage. That's brilliant.
It is. It's this completely unexpected loyalty, or maybe just self-interest, aligning with the rebels at that moment. But it forces Hamar's hand. Hamar agrees to release them, sort of.
Sort of.
He frames it as releasing them as hostages to be ransomed back to the rebellion, along with the bacta. He's still trying to profit.
Slimy right to the end. But then Conrad does something too, right?
Oh, yeah. Conrad Wild, not wanting to be just a pawn in Hamar's games, or easily replaceable by Luthen Rail, takes the comlink Hamar, uses a secure link to Luthen, and smashes it.
Whoa. Burning bridges.
Big time. He basically says, you deal with us now. No shortcuts. It forces Hamar to negotiate directly for the bacta and their freedom. A really powerful character moment under pressure.
These guys are learning fast. They've definitely crossed the line now.
No turning back. They're committed, whether they fully realize it or not. And moments like that, where players make these big, irreversible choices, really solidify their investment in the story.
Okay, so they finally get away from Hamar with the bacta. Where do they take it?
They deliver it to their actual new base of operations. It's a ship called the Far Star.
Sounds majestic.
Not exactly. It's described as a battered, heavily modified Corellian corvette, like a Panther the Feet, but way rougher. It's hidden inside an asteroid field.
Okay, so more scrappy rebel hideout than gleaming headquarters.
Exactly. Described as a fat, ugly piece of shit ship, actually. Really emphasizes the contrast with the Empire. This rebellion is running on fumes and duct tape.
And who greets them there? A cheering crowd.
More like a very tired, very cynical captain, Kellerman Zero. He's got this weary idealism, seems like he's seen too much.
And he welcomes them aboard?
Sort of. It's
Yeah.
a pretty harsh welcome. He immediately starts ribbing them about being taken hostage by Hamar, mocking their negotiating talent.
Ouch. No hero's welcome then.
No, more like a reality check.
Yeah.
Zero basically grounds them immediately. This isn't about glory. It's about survival and getting the job done. Pragmatism over everything.
Sets the tone for their new life in the rebellion, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then Zero drops another bombshell. This one's aimed right at Flick Barnaba, the playboy.
What now? More trouble.
Potentially. Zero reveals that Flick, as a member of the noble house Barnaba, is actually eligible to inherit a planet.
A planet. Flick.
Yep, a swamp planet called Nightsinger's Orb. Apparently, House Barnaba is a big deal in the Tapani sector, this region known for its noble families.
Wow. So the rebellion sees this as an opportunity.
A huge one. A chance to gain a political foothold in a really influential sector.
The funny part is, Flick seems to know almost nothing about his own family history or this inheritance.
Of course he doesn't.
And there's another snag. Slick apparently has some past entanglements with Hutt gangs.
Oh, perfect. Noble inheritance complicated by gangster debts. This poor guy. It throws a massive wrench into things, but it's also a brilliant plot hook. Suddenly, the game isn't just about smuggling and shooting. It's potentially about navigating high society politics, rival heirs.
All hinging on the guy who tried to scare kids with a blaster.
Exactly. It forces Flick and the whole group to potentially adapt and grow in completely new directions. It ties his personal story directly into the rebellion's strategic goals.
This session really seemed to put the characters through the ringer and reveal a lot about them.
Definitely. You see Conrad's impatience, Flick's impulsiveness born of privilege, Rook's surprising fear of spaceflight despite his skills, Scarus just being cynical and saying, "I told you so."
Last sick mercenary.
Right. But even with those flaws, that space battle, the call sign chaos, it kind of forced them to work together. Conrad and Flick especially start to see this isn't just some adventure, it's serious. They burn their bridges.
And Rook finds a way to contribute despite his fear.
Yeah, focusing on his tech skills. Adversity really forged them into something resembling a team, even if they're all still deeply flawed individuals.
So, looking ahead, what are the big challenges this sets up?
Well, first, Hamar Chaktak isn't going away. He's rich, ruthless, and definitely holds a grudge now. He's a guaranteed future problem.
Okay, a recurring villain.
For sure. Second, they have to actually function within the rebellion now. Dealing with people like Captain Zero, balancing their own desires, maybe for profit, maybe just survival with the needs of the cause, that's going to cause friction.
Especially with this crew.
You bet. And finally, there's Flick's inheritance. Nightsinger's Orb, that whole quest is packed with potential. Political games, other nobles trying to claim it, the Empire possibly getting involved, and Flick's Hutt problem bubbling up.
So many threads.
It's perfect TTRPG storytelling. The session didn't just resolve things. It generated a ton of new, interconnected plot lines organically, all stemming from character actions and reveals.
So wrapping this up, we went from a messy dogfight with made-up call signs, through a double cross by a shady alien, to a gritty rebel base, and landed on a potential noble inheritance for the team's playboy.
It's quite a ride. It really shows how these stories, especially in role-playing games, twist and turn based on what happens in the moment. The rebellion story isn't neat. It's woven from these messy threads, weird quirks, unexpected loyalties, constant improvisation.
It makes you think, doesn't it? How even people acting out of self-interest, or maybe just trying to survive, can end up pushing a larger cause forward almost by accident sometimes.
Absolutely. What does it really say about a fight for freedom when the heroes are, well, deeply flawed, maybe even kind of broken? like this crew.
And what happens next? You've got this oddball group, a playboy heir who owes money to gangsters, a cynical mercenary, a disturbingly effective gunner obsessed with angels, and now they might have to navigate high society politics to secure a planet.
Yeah, forget dogfights for a second. Can Flick Barnaba handle a diplomatic reception without causing an interstellar incident? That might be the real challenge ahead.
Thank you for listening to the Bastard Star Wars RPG Deep Dive Podcast. We'll see you next week.